Hi guys, welcome back to Bricks with Tips, and you are watching the Dubai Blueprint series. Today I am here alone and I'm going to talk to you about having a nanny, getting a nanny in the UAE. I know a lot of people in the comments really wanted a woman's perspective on it, so it's just me. But that is not to say that Tyler didn't have any input. He had great input in sorting out everything in terms of actually getting a nanny ahead of our move to Dubai as well. So let's get straight into it. So in this video, I'm going to talk to you about getting a nanny through an agency, getting a nanny independently, organizing the visas, and just to talk to you through the whole process, our process of having a nanny and actually going through several nannies to have the right fit for our family. So I'm going to go through that. So in the UAE, you'll find that a lot of people have a nanny, and that's something that we considered before we came to the UAE, something that we spoke heavily about. We wanted to understand what that would look like for ourselves and what that would look like for our children. So as you may or may not know, we have two daughters. Our eldest is aged 4 and our youngest is aged 2. They are 19 months apart, and having two under 2 is a lot. It was a lot for us in the UK, and we decided that when we did come over here, we were going to get a nanny. And the reason behind that is that we both work full time. I am employed, I run a business. Tayo is a TV presenter, content creator, and he also runs several businesses as well. So that means out of a 7-day week, sometimes we are working up to 7 days out of those 7 days. And when we came over here, well, before coming over here, we decided that we are definitely going to need help. So upon our conversations, many conversations that we had when we talked about getting a nanny, we really had to understand and conclude what we would need a nanny for. So as mentioned, we both work quite a lot, and Tayo also travels a lot. He traveled a lot in the UK. On average, he'll be away from home 2 to 3 days a week sometimes. So that just gives you some context of your time spent outside of the house and the type of help that I actually needed in the UK, which I was quite fortunate to have. I had our parents, we had siblings, we had friends that literally lived around the corner from us that would help with nursery run, their extracurricular activities, and so on and so forth. We had a great support system in the UK. So not everyone needs a nanny, but our main reasons rather, as to having a nanny was to support our children while we are working our businesses, and whilst I'm soon to also be employed, and also to have quality time with the girls. That was really important for both of us. I felt like in the UK, I was always bogged down with the nitty gritty things and didn't actually have real quality time with the girls. And that was something that was very important to me, especially as they're getting older. They're bogging down into the school system with their education. So that was one of the key reasons why we decided to get a nanny. So to help you guys out, I'm going to go through two main ways as to how you can hire a nanny, and you will also see how we hired our nanny as well, which is kind of a third bonus tip. So one of the main ways to hire a nanny is to go through an agency. So an agency will help you streamline the process of actually getting a nanny to your house, to your home. They will do all the checks for you. So you don't have to go through essentially a CRB check. They have done everything for you. They will even provide you with pre-recorded interviews from the nannies themselves, who will list their specialities and what they do. At this point, it's important to understand what you want from a nanny. Is it cooking? Is it cleaning? Is it doing play dates with the kids? Is it teaching? And then once you go through the interviews, then you'll be able to select accordingly down to your preference. Now, one of the things that agencies help you do is to get your nanny's visa, which can be quite tedious and long if you do it manually yourself. Some of the agencies that you can get your mates from are on the screen right now. So the pros of going through agencies is you get a quick hiring process. You can decide that you want a nanny today, and the nanny can be with you in 4 hours. Another pro is that all the legalities, everything is handled for you to make sure that they abide to the UAE laws here. And also they'll be pre-vetted for you. So the cons of going through an agency is that it will be relatively more expensive on the upfront cost side and the monthly cost side too. You'll also have less choice of who you're actually picking on the platform, because like when you think about it, you'll have just who that agency has on their roster compared to all the nannies that are actually in the UAE. Next up, we'll go to direct hires. So with direct hires, these can come through recommendations from other expat families that have already been here for a while. They can come from Facebook groups, or you can get them on platforms such as Divizzle. One of the good things about going direct is that it's your own vetting process. So you can have a nanny come in and interview them for an hour, or you can have them come and do a trial with you. If your requirement is for them to be good with children, you can organize a play day and watch them and just see how they get on. You can literally map out how you want to interview that nanny. Now, the pros of going through a direct hire is that you have more selection and you can also save a lot more money. Now, the cons of going through a direct hire process is that it is your responsibility to deal with all the paperwork. And when I say all the paperwork, I'm talking about the visas, the contracts, their medical, and even things like holiday arrangements, booking their flights back home, talking through their annual leave, talking through their days off. That's something that with an agency they'll sort out. But if you're going through a direct hire, that is your sole responsibility. Cool. So that brings us on to our secret tip, which is hybrid. So with our existing nanny, and we've kind of had 4, watch to the end to find out more about that. But we interviewed our current nanny and we love her and we hired her. So once we decided we were happy with her, we actually decided to get some help with dealing with the legalities. So we went to Maid CC and they have dealt with all the paperwork for us. So we paid an upfront fee and we pay a monthly fee, and they will deal with everything, all the paperwork, the visas, the points that I've mentioned before, to make sure that is all handled and looked after for us. So on one hand, we've been able to select our nanny ourselves and we pay her salary directly to her, and she actually gets to keep more of her money as well. On the other hand, the stress of having to deal with her paperwork has been alleviated because we outsourced that to maids.cc and they've been able to handle everything for us. Let us know in the comments below what you think about the processes that I've talked through, whether you'd go direct, agency, or hybrid. Next up, key considerations when choosing a nanny. So next up, you want to consider the specialities of your nanny. So can they cook? Can they clean? Can they swim? Are they a nurse? Can they tutor? And also, what's their work ethic like? Do they align with your parenting style? Are they patient? Are they a bit more firm? Language and culture. Do they speak the same language as you fluently? Do they share the same faith as you? And is that important to you? Think about the living arrangements. Do you want a living nanny that will be there with you most of the time? Or do you want someone to come in as a day nanny who will literally come and work for example, 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. shift? The accommodation you have may be the deciding factor on that. Think about the salary and benefits. Typical salaries range from about 2,500 AED to 5,000 AED. Live-out nannies are more expensive, but live-in nannies are a little bit cheaper. And that's typically because you'll provide food, utilities, and accommodation for them. We like to ask our nannies what they like to do in their free time. So with our nanny, our current nanny, she's actually got access to Netflix and Amazon Prime because she loves films and TV series. Is your nanny into reading? If she is, order her some books. Find out what your nanny's diet requirements are. For example, if she doesn't drink milk, find out whether she would prefer powdered milk or a different alternative, and make sure that you get that in. These little things are really important to us because having a happy nanny means that we're going to have a happy home. Our children are going to be happy, and we're going to be happy with the fact that she's happy and regulating the system that we want. So I think it's really important to say that for us, I'm definitely speaking for ourselves when I say this. We want our nanny to feel like a part of our family. At the end of the day, she's helping us look after the home. She's helping us look after our children. We want her to feel like a member. So things like coming out to eat with us, that's a no-brainer for us. She's got access to our food ordering apps. She can add whatever she wants on the list. We want her to feel comfortable, and that makes us feel comfortable, and it makes our children feel comfortable as well. So hopefully this video has given you some insights about hiring a nanny and just the whole process of what it feels like to have a nanny with you as well. We're going to speak now about our experiences that we've had being here just a few weeks now and actually having had 4 nannies. So the first nanny, Tayo actually contacted before we moved over here, and she came over to the house on the first day and she was fantastic. She helped us unpack. Tayo had an agenda that we are unpacking all 20 boxes, whether you like it or not. And she was so helpful and the kids drew to her straight away. Unfortunately, she decided that she didn't want to stay with us. So it was back to the drawing board. So for context, we did pay her for her time, but the salary that she wanted, she was able to get that elsewhere. That was direct. For the second one, we decided to go agency. I'm not going to name the agency. The nanny came, she arrived at the door, she looked at me, she was like, "You're the madam?" And I was like, "Yeah." She looked me up and down. She said, "You got 2 kids?" I said, "Yeah." And then she went back to her taxi and we never saw her again. So I don't know what happened. And yeah, we're going to leave that as that. The agency did actually send us a replacement straight away. Well, I say straight away, that nanny came in the evening. We got our replacement the next day, the following day. Um, so that brings us on to nanny number 3. We will call her Jay, and she was a Filipino lady. Absolutely lovely. I drew to her straight away. The girls drew to her straight away. So Jay understood the assignment. She had a system which worked perfectly. Now, in general, nannies can be great, but they have to be great for what you specifically need. And Jay wasn't great for what we specifically needed, which was help with the girls. Now, our girls are good girls. They are good children. However, if they catch a if they can smell a sign of leniency, they're going to try you. And they tried Jay and time again. So you can tell she was kind of struggling with the discipline aspect of the girls, sorry. So unfortunately, we had to let her go. So we came to the conclusion that this disparity may actually be because of the difference in cultures. Like I mentioned, she was a Filipina lady. Now, with that being said, we went direct and we hired a lady who has been in the UAE for 3 years now. Prior to us, she looked after a family from the UK, and she is from Ghana. So she had the experience of looking after UK families, and she is from my home country, which is Ghana. Now, she is fantastic. Praise be to God. Okay? Because it was getting much. 4 was, we got to stop somewhere, and God had it that she is the one. She is great with the kids, fantastic with disciplining them. They listen to her. She cooks a mean dish. Child. Let's just put it this way. We've had wache, we've had jollof, we've had plantain, we've had shito. Just last night, Taya had pounded yam and okra soup. We're not lacking in that department. She cleans well, and she's just a joyful spirit to have in the house as well. So we are so excited and so pleased to have her, and the kids absolutely love her. And I'm even going to start making her speak to them in Tree, because now that my mum's not around like that, they still need to keep it up. So that's a bonus too. So that concludes this video. Thank you for watching. If you've got any questions, please put them in the comments below. As usual, we will be there asking all your questions. And yeah, stay tuned. And anything else that you want us to talk about, also let us know in the comments below. And we will see you next time.